Howdy and welcome back to the Basement Club. Yes, I got dragged out of the grave, just like how EA dragged Isaac Clarke's body out of the grave to show him to the masses. And you're probably wondering what the hell I'm talking about. It's Dead Space Remake got announced a little while ago, and I got very concerned and then very happy, and then very concerned and very happy, and then battling these thoughts for a little while. So I just wanted to put a video out there, putting my thoughts out, and stuff I want to see in the future or stuff I want from the remake. So if this is all over the place, I apologize. I'm very excited, and I haven't done a video in a while, so I'm very unprofessional right now. But let's just jump right into it. So right off the bat, we're talking about the announcement trailer, which is a short 1-minute trailer, kind of sets the tone for the entire game, which if you haven't played Dead Space, please go do yourself a favor and play the game. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. It's using current gen / next gen technology, and I'm hoping that they utilize ray tracing. If you don't know what ray tracing is, would recommend watching videos on how that works. But ray tracing, in a nutshell, is basically simulating real-world lighting, and I'm excited to see if they utilize that in Dead Space, because oh my god, would that look amazing in Dead Space. Not to mention horrifying, because there are very dark places in that game, and having only a flashlight or light from your armor is very scary. But I'm excited to see how they, visually upgrade this game, because it's one of those things that didn't age that well was the visual aspect of the original Dead Space. I think audio is probably the one that holds up still, because you're on an abandoned mining ship and it sounds like an abandoned mining ship. Empty hallways, very long distant echoes of the necromorphs walking around and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to see how this game will look and sound, not to mention how it will play, because I feel like some of the controls were a bit wonky, but you do get used to it after a couple hours. Now, I think they nailed it with this trailer, setting the entire atmosphere, and I'm excited to see how it will play. But now, for some of my concerns, this is a built from the ground up, just like Resident Evil 2 and 3, and funny enough, Dead Space was inspired by Resident Evil 4, and it'll be pretty funny to hear if they were inspired by the remakes to remake Dead Space. It'll be pretty interesting to see if that's the case and how it's a little circle of inspiration. But regardless, this is built from the ground up, and I'm kind of worried because they actually might take some liberties with the story, maybe even with some of the gameplay aspects. Is a thing I thought of was, hey, the bench upgrade wasn't very or the upgrade system in the game, which is the bench, isn't very interesting, I guess would be the word. So maybe they'll take stuff from Dead Space 3 where you collect parts to build your own gun, and I kind of don't want to see that in Dead Space. I really hope that they stick to a faithful remake, or have something like Resident Evil 2 where it's like or Resident Evil, no, not the Resident Evil series, but more of the Final Fantasy, where it's like a spiritual remake which kind of follows it, but at the same time takes its own liberties to change things here and there. I'm hoping that story-wise they do maybe make some changes. I don't know. The reason I would want to see some changes is maybe they decide to go with a new franchise for Dead Space and kind of retell Isaac's story, but in a different way, because ending it with 3 wasn't the best ending. Maybe we'll even get a Dead Space 2 remake, although I would not want to see more remakes in the Dead Space franchise. I would like to see brand new games telling new stories in the universe, but again, judging by how Dead Space 3 ends, I don't think that would be a very great idea, but that's just a thought I had. Another thing too is that I'm worried that they might change a little too much of the story. Again, I'm really hoping they stick to the faithful remake thing, where they take the story and they go with it. I wouldn't mind if they took some liberties to connect 2 and 3 with it, or have some references that would tie back to 2 and 3. But again, it's not like a huge priority. I personally just want to see a Dead Space game again. If you know how Dead Space 3 ends, then you know how the overall story would end. So I personally would want to see new stuff in the universe. Another thing too is that if they decide to make more games, unfortunately, Visceral Games isn't around anymore, and they're the original creators of Dead Space 1, 2, 3, and maybe some of the spinoffs. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I know that since they're not around, I'm worried that some of the creative choices they might take might not be the best. I don't know. Again, it's completely up to them if they want to make more, but I feel like they're just testing the water to see if there's an audience for Dead Space, let alone the franchise as a whole. So if this does really well, I'm excited to see if they decide to make more games, or maybe just do the one and done and then leave it alone. I wouldn't mind if they did that either. But overall, I'm hoping that this game does really well, because I would want to see more stuff out of the universe, or at least EA try to attempt something brand new again. I would love to see them do that. And if you guys didn't know, the original creator of Dead Space is actually working on a different game called the Callisto Project. So you want to support him and his developers making their own version of Dead Space, so to speak. You could go support that. I'm very excited for that as well, knowing that he's making a game too. But overall, I am slightly concerned, slightly excited for the Dead Space remake. I'll just have to get my hands on it to see how I feel overall. I'm very excited. I'm hoping that we see more Dead Space in the future. And that's just my overall thoughts on Dead Space. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry it was a short video, but I just wanted to get this out there. It's all over the place. I apologize for that. But thank you for watching the video.